In the video game industry, specifically in life simulation games, there is an elephant in the room. And yes, I am talking about this one, and I am talking about the future of the genre. Get the picture? Well, let's dive in and talk about the near future of life simulation games. My name is Michael, and welcome back to Sovereign Gaming. Over the last 2 decades and beyond, there was space for only one life simulation game on players' computers, and that was none other than the Sims franchise. The Sims has dominated the life simulation market space in gaming for well over 2 decades, and rightfully so. Each iteration of the game, except for The Sims 4 in my opinion, has offered players a variety of well-executed features. The Sims quickly grew a pair of legs of its own and pretty much became a huge cash cow for EA after they acquired Maxis. Each installment of the Sims franchise, from The Sims 1 to The Sims 4, ignited a huge engaged community following that appealed to both genders and had a wide age range. People couldn't get enough, and the community was always demanding more features to be added. And for the features that were offered in past franchise installments, players wanted those as well and were willing to pay for it. The Sims was a hit, and the fans were loyal. It's no wonder that The Sims became quite a cash cow for EA, with each installment of the Sims franchise offering players at least 7 or 8 expansion packs, with so many more stuff packs and downloadable content to boot additionally. With plenty of players at least purchasing the expansion packs for each franchise, EA could safely assume that each player would pay around $500 per franchise installment over time. This kind of marketing is smart, and I would say has influenced the gaming industry towards building games that can have more DLC or expansion packs released after the first release. I mean, why get one sale out of a player when you could get them to give a little bit extra for DLC on a video game that they already own and want to continue playing? This is a smart marketing tactic. It puts more money in the developers' pockets, and in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that so long as the end products are high quality and ultimately deliver positively on the player's experience. You have to remember, a lot of hard work goes into these games, from coding to animating, etc. With that said, I think that EA's golden age of The Sims dominating the life simulation marketplace is about to face some dark days. It's no secret that I have never been impressed with The Sims 4. Right from its initial announcement, I couldn't fathom spending more money on the next installment of a franchise where I just knew was going to be inferior to The Sims 3 in nearly every way. And boy, was I ever right. As of the time I am recording this video, recently EA just vaguely announced 4 unique kits and a hot update, whatever that means. These updates released from April until June, and this announcement came a couple of weeks after Life by You dropped their trailer. And maybe I am looking a little too far into this, but I do suspect this influx of content is EA reacting to Life by You, and I have 2 reasons why I think that is. 1. They typically release 2 kits per quarter. They're releasing 4 kits plus an update for Q2 2023. And 2. EA has had Paradox poach an entire community away from them with Paradox's release of City Skylines. SimCity is a thing of the past, and Paradox has totally taken control of that video game space. It wouldn't surprise me that EA would react by trying to give the players more features and items as a way to retain the Sims community and build loyalty from the players to their Sims games. This would be a legitimate marketing strategy, which is to show players that EA is dedicated to The Sims 4 by offering the players more DLC and features for their games. It wouldn't surprise me if there was a summer expansion pack released just before September 12th, and I have another darker reason why that could be. It would be an aggressive move against Paradox's Life by You if EA got their players to spend more money on The Sims and their content rather than giving Life by You's early access a try. In other words, getting players to spend money with EA so that they won't physically have the money to try out Life by You when it releases. EA is very smart, and they have made a lot of money off of The Sims, so I truly don't think that they would panic at this stage in the game because at the end of the day, they need to see how Life by You delivers on the vision that they've presented to the players. The race is definitely on to secure the majority for life simulation games, but it isn't just EA and Paradox that are in the race. There's another player as well that I have yet to talk about. That's right, Paralives has entered the chat. Paralives is honestly a beautiful and ambitious life simulator game. The problem is that there's no release date in sight for even an alpha version. Paralives has shown players what a great quality life simulation could be since 2019, and their community has exploded ever since. People have wanted the next iteration of a life simulation game since The Sims 4 came out. The Sims 4 was made for a new generation, and for those of us that have played video games since The Sims 1 and even before then, The Sims 4 leaves a really bad taste in our mouths, and also a marketing gap as well. When Paralives first came on the scene, it brought excitement back to a community that has been longing for a high-quality life simulator game. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the work that Alex Massey and his team has done to get the game to where it is now. He has a small but mighty team, yet when Paralives was first discovered, people began to lose faith with EA's capabilities to evolve the Sims 4's franchise. And so Paralives was the only other choice in development that people knew of. And that's what makes Paradox's Life by You announcement such a power move. Life by You offers a similar product that Paralives does, but they have a first version being released this September 2023. Now don't get me wrong, at the end of the day I think that there is room at the table for many life simulation games, but let's be honest, one of them is going to secure the majority and take the lion's share of the community. And I believe that there is a real hunger for the next iteration of life simulation games that EA isn't delivering on. In this race for the next iteration of life simulators, Paralives is going at a snail's pace. Now, I'm not trying to count Paralives' money or anything like that, but looking at their Patreon and the number of subscribers and members that it has, I think that they do have the resources to still make some power moves themselves. Now, I know that he will likely never see this, but my advice to Alex Massey would be the following. Watch and study Life by You very closely. EA never thought that you were a threat because you are a small gaming studio. In my opinion, EA wasn't worried about developing the next iteration of life simulation games because there wasn't a fire under their asses. Now another big gaming developer has stepped on the scene and they're going at a breakneck speed. I'm wishing nothing but the best for you and your team, Alex, but you need to come up with a competitive strategy because after September, if Life by You is published and executed well, then you'll need to compete with that and convince your Patreon subscribers to stay with you. Honestly, good luck, you weren't dealt a very easy hand to play there. And for the record, for everyone else, between Paralives and Life by You, I actually really prefer the graphic art style and soundtrack from Paralives out of everyone so far. So I think that there is a lot of high quality coming from Paralives, and I really want to see them successful as well. Like I mentioned, there's room at the table for everyone in the life simulation game space here. From a competitive perspective, the key difference between the time when Paradox published City Skylines and now is that EA abandoned the SimCity franchise after their disastrous release of SimCity 2013. And yes, I did play SimCity 2013 when it was released, so I have first-hand experience of the tomfoolery that was the launch date. This time, I think that EA is going to try and defend their Sims franchise. Like I mentioned before, The Sims is a huge cash cow for EA, and they would be stupid not to fight for their customers' loyalty and business. Heck, they still have The Sims 3 store up and running, and if they weren't making money off of it, they would have closed it down a long time ago. Paradox has experience disrupting the video game landscape with high-quality games. They now clearly have the resources to make it happen, and they painted a huge vision for the players to expect when it comes to Life by You. Whether or not they deliver on this vision is yet to be seen, and we'll find out more this September. After all, I remember when The Sims 3 was first released, that it had a lot of gameplay issues and glitches despite The Sims 3 turning out to be a great franchise in the end. And I will certainly be here to experience the Life by You first release with you all. Like I have been alluding to this whole time, I think that Life by You's success really depends on how well its first release is executed this coming September. This race to the next life simulation game is easily one of the most interesting things going on in the video game industry, considering that there are two powerhouse gaming studios that could potentially be battling it out for the domination of the life simulation gaming market. And when two competitors go head to head, usually the players themselves actually benefit, because what ends up happening is that two high quality end products could end up being available, assuming that EA would switch their tactics. The Life by You September 1st release will set the pace and the expectations of the players, send a message to their competitors that there is room for more than one life simulation game at the table, and most importantly, Life by You looks to deliver on what a forgotten community has been asking for a long time, and that's what's next in simulation gaming. In this case, I think that it is important to try to look at the full picture of what's going on, because at the end of the day, a more holistic view is going to give players a more informed decision on how to spend their time and money. Sometimes we need to question what's being presented to us and peek behind the curtain to see what's happening backstage to get that full picture. Next week, I will be covering some more of the features that have been released and spoken about by Rod Humble himself, and of course, I'll give some of my thoughts on that as well and how it's shaping up to be and how I've perceived those kinds of discussions. So look out for that video and leave a comment on who you think will win the race to create the next best life simulation game. Until next time, thank you for watching, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, then feel free to like and subscribe. But for now, just enjoy the rest of your day.